What's up, everybody? This is Steve with Entering Into Space, and before I get started, I wanted to share something with you, something that I've struggled with for quite some time now, and finally have a diagnosis for it. But I have apparently have OPD. That's obsessive processing disorder. God, it feels so good to say this. Anyway, yeah, and the other day I was having a major reaction. Medication wasn't working. The vodka just wasn't doing its thing, and so I decided to reprocess yet again. I hate to admit this, the Eagle Nebula. And I posted the image, which would be this image right here. Same data, old data. It's like 3 years old. And guess what? I got a lot of haters. I got a lot of compliments, but I got a lot of people saying fake. You did. And I was like, yes, finally, I've arrived. You know, when you start getting haters, you're doing something right. So lots of people were going, hey, reprocess that, man. Show us how you did it. And I'm like, I've already done a processing video on this data, but maybe I should do it again. Because I mega cropped in, as you can tell. This was kind of the native focal length of the RC8 and the ASI 1600, some old school gear. And then this is the final version, rotated and mega cropped in, and I'm pretty pleased with it. I'm just gonna go ahead and pat myself on the back. Yay! Yeah, I'm digging it. So anyway, so let's redo it and see if we can match it. See how close we get. Shall we? And just give in and succumb to my processing disorder. All right, hydrogen data looks pretty good. Could use a little background neutralization. Graxpert isn't working for me right now, so don't ask. I don't know. I gotta like upgrade it to something. I don't know. Ugh, tired of fixing stuff. So let's just crop in and run some AVE. Let's cheat a little bit. So we're gonna open up a dynamic crop. We got the little tool saved right here, dynamic crop. And I don't know how close I'm gonna get to the other framing that I did, but I will try to get as close as I can. Just moving this little box in. Let's see if we can, let's zoom in a little bit more. And really, honestly, you know, I mean, everybody's like, that image is awesome. What the heck? What'd you do? Oh my God. I mean, a ton of comments. But honestly, like, I really believe I couldn't have done it without old Russell Croman. I wonder if he ever listens to my videos, and because, man, that guy just loves to compliment me, and I love it because he deserves it. His tools are really cool, but there were some other things I did too, so I'll take a little credit. Okay, so enough yakking. Let's drag that off. Close down the tool and stick this little dynamic crop guy down here. Let's drag and drop. Let's see how close we got. Oh, look, I got a little bit of the fairy in there this time. So, should I not? Should I try to crop in a little bit more? I mean, I should just had this up the whole time. So let's redo it. Boink. Anytime you don't like your crop, you can always double click on the instance. It puts the box back in here. And then you can just, man, we're getting in on this thing, right? We're getting down on it. Get down on it. All right. Let's see. I know you're like, just stop, dude. Just process it. Killing me. Pretty cool. All right, so now we've adjusted the box. Let's drag that instance off and drag it on top of the old one. Doink. And it's going to say, do you want to change it? Why, yes, of course I do. Close down the tool. Yes. Drag and drop. Pretty good. We're going to run with it. Minimize. 03. And yes, they were all aligned already out of WBPP. And uno más. Cool. Minimize it. We don't want to close out because we want to do a comparison. Okay. Biggest thing is when you're cropping in your image and you really want to try to maintain as much resolution as you can. That was one thing I was getting a lot of, was there's no way it could be that way because, you know, the native resolution, and, you know, I'm shooting 1600 millimeters on this at f7, I think. And so obviously you would think you would see some resolution degradation to this cropped, but what really resolves that is Blur Exterminator, first and foremost, the correction tool. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. Let's see if some ABE will clean this up just a little bit. Interpolation output, we're going to drop that down to a 1. And target correction, we're just going to say subtraction. Discard the background model, we don't want it. Let's increase our box size to like 15. Leave the separation alone. Drag and drop. Yeah, cool. So it puts the handy dandy little ABE there so we know that it's been done. Close the tool. Hydrogen. Because we're so cropped in, these go pretty quick. Yes. 03. Drag and drop. And bingo. All right, I feel better about that. You feel better? I do. Close that tool. Next step, like I said, correction. Actually, let's open up the sulfur because I think it lends itself well to video graphical demonstration. Man, I'm full of big words today on a Sunday before the holiday here. Here's one thing I do not like about the RCs. I have no idea why that happens. Little ringing around the brighter stars. Anyway, let's do a sample right there. Preview. Now we can on and off what it does. Let's open up Blur Exterminator, hit the correction tool, drag and drop. Let's see, Control, Shift, and Z. I have to look around my microphone, sorry. Yeah, see what it does? Look at that. Okay, I'm stop. Stop it. All right, let's do the whole image. It's almost a given. Just about every image that I do, I run the correction tool. Bam. Let's go ahead and kill that preview. Get it. HA, let's do the same thing. Drag, drop. Yeah. 03, do it too. Man. All right. I think we're looking pretty good. I don't think I'm going to do any more corrective measures to anything right now. I think what I'm going to do is just pull the stars and combine. Clear throat. So star X, we want to generate a star image because we want to combine them back. Drag and drop. Okie dokie. There's our stars. Minimize 03. S2. Pull the stars. I love S2 data. I think it's my favorite. It's like the Japanese language. S2. It's artistic yet firm, right? I mean, look at that. Still got some rings in there. And HA. Beautiful thing about cropping in is, man, it does speed through these processes. Cool. So there's our 3 star sets. So we're going to do some old school stretching here, I think. Hit F12 since we're in a linear state. And we're going to open up, what are we going to open up? We don't want to overstretch this. And I think I indicated before on the YouTube channel, Sky Story, he kind of showcased this a little bit. So I'm just kind of piggybacking off of what he did here. A couple of different stretching methods. So let's create a real-time preview. This is, like I said, we're not using GHS on this. GHS is cool. I use it all the time, but I find sometimes I can kind of overstretch things pretty quick. So I want to hit this little track view, and you can see the histograms right up against the left-hand side, as it should be. So we're just going to take this mid-tone slider, push it all the way over. We're going to point at this value here, the first value here. We're going to roll our mouse wheel forward, and it's going to start to zoom into the histogram, and you can see we still got a ways to go. All the way to where you start to see this rise and this peak. And because we did the AVE, it's so dark, we're really up against the left-hand side. That's fine. We can brighten it up some in curves. But we're just going to select that. So that's just a nice flat curve. And then with curves, flat curve, that was a flat stretch. Good grief. Let's open up a real-time preview. I think our dark values, see how I click in this space? See, I'm right here. Let's just incrementally raise this curve up. There. There. Something like that. Select that. That's about all we want to do. S2. Same thing. F12. Open up histogram transformation. Choose the S2 AVE. Hit track view. Roll this back to 1 so we can see what we're doing. There's our midpoint slider. Push it over. Do a real-time preview first. Roll in. You can do it one of two ways. You can either roll in on this counter here, or you can actually point at your histogram and roll backwards. It's kind of weird, right? Let's just keep bringing that midpoint slider over. Rolling backwards as I point at the histogram peak. Bring it right up to the edge here. And select it. And say, yes, I want that. Reset these values to 1 for the O3, not 11. And close the tool. So once again, we're going to open up our curves. Let's check this dark value. Yeah, we're a little bit better on this one. We're just adjusting this histogram up incrementally here. How about there? Cool. It's going to be subtle. That's not such a bad thing. F12. Where you at? I lost you. Histogram transformation. Ugh. O3. Track view. Real-time preview this time. I'm going to take the midpoint slider and slide it over. Okay. Roll in. Keep bringing that midpoint slider all the way over. Right about there. Say yes. Close down the tool. We're going to close the real-time preview. Let's open up curves, and let's put a curve stretch in here. But the only thing you can do, you have to stay in this RGBK band. You can't use luminance or anything else when you're in this grayscale. All right. So I think I'm going to just pin it and then lift and lift. Right about there. Cool. All right, tradition. We're sticking with tradition here. We're We're going to open up LRGB combination so we can leverage a little more luminance and color variation in this combination that channel combination does not provide. So typical SHO, sulfur in the red, oxygen in the blue, hydrogen in the green, and hit global. Now you could spend a bunch of time doing a bunch of color work to this thing with either color masks, but I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I'm going to go in here to process, color calibration, narrowband normalization. I'm going to choose the palette as SHO. Lightness we just want to preserve and do a real-time preview. And we start pushing up the SNR. Let's boost that. S2. Cool. Accept it. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. So that's our image 16. Let's go ahead and set the identifier for this and say, and name it starless, because we have to have it name that so we can incorporate the stars back in. So now we need some stars. So let's go here to my favorite script, the 4x utility script. And just using this for star combination. I'm checking all 3 channels. I do have to put the stretched images in here to get it to work. And sometimes I do that and I'm like, hey, I kind of like that. You know, sometimes it's just about having some sort of a plan, but then letting the data guide you. Sensei. HA stars. Go through stars. And execute. Cool. So there's our stars. Yeah, see, that's a pretty cool color combination there. You know, you want to use it? I always ask you this. I should probably do a live video one of these days. So that's the 4x. This is the traditional SHO. What do you think? A little more orangey in here. The same amount of blue. Yeah, they're pretty close. But I'm not going to bore you with that. We're going to stick with this one. Remember, we're trying to match it. All right. So we want to put the stars in here. But before we do that, if you zoom in to this image, you can see we've got a lot of chrominance noise. You see all this little speculation. So I want to pull luminance off of this. And I always like doing that as opposed to just using the HA as a luminance, because I feel like I'm leveraging the luminance from the sulfur and from the oxygen, not just the hydrogen. If that makes sense. So the only thing I want to do to this luminance is probably boost this curve stretch, brighten it just a little bit. Just going to pin the dark areas down. I don't want to overdo it. Okay. And the other thing I'm going to do is open up Noise Exterminator. Maybe push the details to about 20, and I want to push this denoise down to about 70% and run that. And that's going to get rid of that, and deconvolution, excuse me, convolution is going to get rid of all that chrominant noise, most of it. All right, cool. So let's zoom in here. You can see we're pretty smooth now. So it's like pulling a luminance and reapplying it. So let's open up convolution. We're just going to blur this image slightly. Whoop. I said slightly. Right there. And that gets rid of all that chrominance noise. So if you go back, maybe you can see it, maybe not. Forward. Smooth. That's why we do that. Open up starless. Let's open up LRGB combination. We're going to take that luminance that we just pulled off Place it right here. We're going to uncheck the red, green, and blue. Push this slider down to increase your saturation. We're not going to do any chrominance noise reduction because we've already done it with the convolution. Bam. Oh man, we're getting close. Scary. All right. Minimize. Now we need stars. 4x stars. Yoink. Now we're going to use GHS. Generalized hyperbolic stretch. Oh, come on. That way. Real-time preview. And we just want to stretch. We don't want to get too crazy with it. So we're getting some pretty bright stars here, but that's fine. Right about 2.3. We just want to see a good stretch on the stars. Okay. Let's minimize that. We have to name this stars because we're using this pixel math formula, star screen formula, to put them back in. And so starless is the colored image, and stars obviously is the stars. One thing I'm going to do here that I really like doing is you've got some darker areas in here that don't seem to have as much nebulosity. Obviously this area right here has buku nebulosity. So let's open up ACDNR. We're going to create a light mask, like light mayonnaise mask. And it's just going to mute some of the stars. So bring that mid-tone down to kind of darken up where the nebulosity is. And I'm going to push the shadows up right there. And then maybe bring down the highlights, and that darkens up. So basically what this mask is going to do is it's going to kind of mute the stars that go back into this area. It's going to let full strength stars into this area and kind of bring forward the nebula past the stars. So we're going to make a copy, and then we're going to take this instance and we're going to drag and drop, and that creates our mask. And then all we can do is just apply the mask. So you can see the areas in red are going to kind of mute out some of the stars. Areas not in red are going to let the stars back in full strength. So come down here to show mask so we don't see. Right. Okay. Open up star screen, and then we drag and drop. Boom, there's our stars. All right, so let's take the mask off. Minimize the image. Let's open up stars. We're going to do one more stretch. Do a real-time preview. We're going to stretch it one more time. Then we're going to pull this local intensity back. That's going to give us, protect some of the highlights. So it'll mute the stars a little bit. So now we're starting to see our star spikes, but our cores aren't getting blown out. And we're getting a nice little halo around the stars. Let's open up a RGB saturation. Let's add a little color. Cool. So now we want to mask the brighter stars, and so they show through, and some of these dimmer stars we do not want. So we're going to open up a range selection, do a real-time preview, slide it forward just until you start to see something looks like that. Increase the smoothing factor. So you can see all those other background stars won't pop through, but these will. Accept it. So let's minimize the star image, push this over here. Let's open up starless. Drop the mask on there. Oh, man, I gotta get a new mouse. Star screen. Drag. Gosh, stupid mouse. All right, so let's look. Let's see. We just kind of plopped in the stars in this general area here. Okay. So now let's do another little preview. And we're going to open up Blur Exterminator. Now that we're in the nonlinear state, we're going to reset the tool. We could probably adjust the non-sharpen or the non-stellar sharpening. Let's just leave it almost kind of default here. Let's drag and drop and see what we look like. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Russell. You may go now. Make yourself a sandwich and a drink. Drink, 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 drink. I mean, if that's not the most badass thing ever, I don't know what is. I just don't. I ain't got no clue. Apply it to the image. And there we go. Now, we got some turquoise in there. You know, this is Hubble-esque. They posted their data. Let's see. Let's open up. Yeah. So I'm going to go into Photoshop. And what am I going to do? Apply the Orton effect to get this kind of glowy effect that I have here. And whether you like it or not, probably going to fix some star spikes in here because they do get muted out. But I don't get too crazy with it, okay? So let me check the color here. Yeah, it's not bad, right? We could probably open up GHS here. Open up a real-time view preview and hit saturation and maybe boost. There you go. Boost it. It's been boosted. All right. Right on. So let's rename this one YouTube _ Eagle. Yeah. And we're going to go to File, Save As. Oh my God, people. I didn't mean to show you all this and expose myself. Ugh. Ugh. See how many times I process this stupid thing. Let's go new folder. Oh my gosh. 526. It's 526, people. And we want to save this as a TIFF. If you have not seen my video on the Orton effect or watched other videos on the Orton effect, I would highly recommend it. I really would. Yep, we're going to go over here to Photoshop. Here we go. All right. Let's make a copy. And let's start out with doing some camera raw filter action here. We're going to go to the basic. And we're going to probably boost the vibrance. We're going to dehaze it just a tad and add some clarity. Cool. I took a little of that haze out of it. Let's look in here and see. Look at here. Whoa. Chrominance noise isn't too bad, actually. Okay with it. All right. Let's say merge down. Make a little copy here. I'm going to open up curves. I feel like I got just a tad bit too much green. Just right there. See that? Yeah. Yeah. I took just a little bit of the green out of it. Every time I do something like that, I just stack them and then redo it. All right, so let's boost some of this glow around the two little. These things are gigantic. Whatever those tendrils are called, they should probably have a name. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to come over here to Layer, New Layer, and we're going to change the mode to Color Dodge, and we're going to say Fill with Color Dodge Neutral Color Black. Click OK. I want to make sure that our foreground is white. We're going to get our brush I like to have it in the high 40s for fill or flow and opacity. So kind of half on, half off. Dunk, bunk. And I don't drag, I just click. Right? And we're just enhancing this glow down here along these edges. Right? Woo! Anything else you want to enhance? Maybe that. Maybe down there. So if you do, you can really see what it does, but it's... Yeah, look at that. So let's drop the opacity down. That's one thing I love about Photoshop is the opacity level. Cool. And merge down. And merge down. Let's duplicate that layer again. Yeah. All right, Orton effect. So we're going to come up here to filter. We got to blur it first. So blur and Gaussian blur. Whoa, that's a little too much. Like I said, what I'm doing here, I still want to see some of the structure. So I can still make out the structure of it, but it looks like I've taken my glasses off. Wow. Not a lot of difference. Okay. Click OK to that. Change the blending mode to screen. All right. And then come down here to image and apply image. And just make sure that the blending mode is multiplicity and the layers are merged. Click OK. And then we want to bring the opacity level down, bring it back up. And then let's be archaic and Neanderthal-like. We're going to click our eraser tool. I think I've got the opacity and flow at like the 60s. Just kind of take a little bit of the glow out of some of the structure here. Yeah. Cool. So pretty dang close, right? All right, so let's do something completely crazy and fix our star spikes here. Filter, Pro, digital software, Star Spike Pro 4. I know, man, just stop. Don't judge. I swear. All right, so let's see what it's going to do here, because sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, it is not working today. Look. That may be a sign. Sometimes I don't understand. It just does not want to. Let me do this. Oh, there we go. Let's highlight this. Adjust our angles. All right. Less is more with this. Yeah, I know. You're just like, I can't believe you're doing this, Steve. Whatever. So the quantity also increases the intensity of, so you can see like, we've actually got stars popping up where stars don't exist. And that happens. Cool. Because right here, there's not a star there. Let's click OK. Let's open up our erase tool and get rid of this. 100%. We want to get rid of that spike that does not exist. I know. I've just killed YouTube land right here. And then what I do is I come back here, I turn it completely off. And I'm just pretty subtle. That's it. Give it a little bit more. So let's zoom in here. Just so you see, that's all I'm doing. Whatever, get over it. All right, merge down, file, save. Go back to Pixel Site, file, open, 526, TY Eagle. I just go dyslexic, TY. Jesus, man, I'm losing it. Too much partying. Yeah. So, you know, I'm going through this quick, but not a lot of difference. Maybe a little, maybe I might have a little brighter on the old one. I did spend a little more time. Wasn't feeling the stress and pressure that I am right now. But pretty dang close, you know? What do you think? So for you guys out there that went, no way, no way. There it is. I just did it. From, you know, whoops, from this. All right. Cool. I'm really at a loss of words right now. You know, I should probably have something more profound to say about this, but I don't. Might shoot this one again if I ever get another scope that actually has some decent focal length to it, over 1,000 millimeters. Definitely want to put some more time on this one. See if I can do it any better. See if I can get any better. But for now, this was the RC8 by iOptron and the ASI 1600, and who knows what mount I was using at the time. Probably using ZWO filters on this one too. So there you go, ZWO. Yeah, this one here, I think I definitely got a little more star spikage out of it. But yeah, I hope it helped. And what else? Enjoy yourself on this holiday weekend. I hope you got some clear skies out there. What are you shooting? Let me know. If you make a comment down here below, what are you shooting? Hey, let me know. Maybe I'll shoot it too and outdo you. Or maybe I won't. I'm currently working on the elephant trunk. And what else? Oh, M94 at the same time. Well, you know, back to back every night. Very little sleep. Anyway, until next time, clear skies and clear minds.